Hey folks, Dr. Mike Israel here for Renaissance Periodization. Today's fitness myth, number 10 in our series so far, high fructose corn syrup is uniquely bad for you. That's a myth. What? On a related note, I was walking around last night and I saw a family, nuclear family, daughter, son, wife, husband, and the husband is clutching all three of the other family members while high fructose corn syrup monster was encroaching on their very sense of family and liberty and everything that was good. And I did nothing about it. I'm a really laissez-faire kind of person, so I was like, oh, I wonder how this will play out. The high fructose corn syrup monster ate every single one of them brutally, like a velociraptor or whatever from Jurassic Park. It ate them while they were still alive. The worst thing I've ever seen in my life. So how am I going to show up and defend high fructose corn syrup? Watch this. So what's the claim, really? The claim is that high fructose corn syrup is uniquely bad for you even compared to other sugars like honey, cane sugar, table sugar, etc. And another claim that people like to layer on this is that high fructose corn syrup and its introduction and proliferation and expansion in the food supply has somehow either caused or massively contributed to the obesity epidemic that folks are experiencing nowadays. Interesting hypotheses, but probably wrong, and here's why. So first, high fructose corn syrup seems to be bad, and if you Google fructose negative effects, you get all sorts of things. You're like, aha, that's it. It's the high fructose that's killing us. Why couldn't we know that regular sugar was better? Why did we have to jam in more fructose artificially, I might add? Well, the thing is, high fructose corn syrup is only high fructose when compared to corn syrup, which has almost no fructose at all. So it turns out that compared to like table sugar and honey, the high fructose corn syrup has like the same amount of fructose or really close. Oh, shit. That changes things. And it turns out that high fructose corn syrup is postulated that it has an appetite-mediating effect and it makes you less full. It doesn't make you any less full than table sugar or honey, it seems like, from the studies that seem to be available. So it's another curiosity. And a lot of studies have been done on this, and most of them show that in nearly all health effects, high fructose corn syrup isn't amazing for your health, but it's no different than other sweet-tasting sugar sources like cane sugar and sucrose and honey and so on and so forth, which makes those like natural sugar soft drinks, like now with natural sugar, really stupid. Because it's really like the naturalistic fallacy or the argument from nature fallacy writ large. There it is. It's just natural. And if you look into the data and the research, like, oh, it's actually damn near the same thing. So why is it better? Well, it's not. And that's really the reality here. Now, there's some grains of truth here that we don't want to just write off. First, any caloric sweetener that can let you add calories fast is a candidate for helping obesity get to where it is. And that's absolutely true. Generally speaking, liquid beverages that taste sweet and have lots of carbs are not as filling as protein, starches, and healthy fats. Definitely veggies. So if you have a bunch of liquid calories through the day as sugar, it's actually quite easy to get in tons of extra calories and end up being significantly more overweight than you planned on. And that's really true. It's true for cookies and snacks and sweets and cakes, but it's really true for liquids because they're so easy to get down. You eat a regular meal, super healthy meal. You have like a nice large tall glass of orange juice with that meal. And all of a sudden, that's like 50 grams of extra carbohydrate per meal that is going to increase your calories a ton and not make you much fuller. So you'll be just as hungry for dinner or lunch or comparably so. And then over the course of the day, if you keep that up, orange juice with breakfast, Coca-Cola with lunch, and then a few glasses of wine with dinner, that's a lot of extra calories, right? So that's where it's not good, is that it can let you bump your calories without experiencing much of an anti-hunger effect. And statistically, folks that take in lots of juices and sodas have pretty similar outcomes. So, high fructose corn syrup that's available in soda, which is usually not available in fruit juice, is not any better for you, okay? So it definitely does bad things by providing excess calories, particularly, without making you less hungry. But the cool point here is that, people say, oh, we stay natural, just drink regular juice. Well, most juices are free of high fructose corn syrup, but pretty much do the same stuff outcome-wise. They lead to the same body fat gain, et cetera, et cetera. So that doesn't let the high fructose corn syrup off the hook, but it just hangs it next to its other co-conspirators who are just as bad, right? It's like, you got two people like taking the rims off a car or something, and you're like, that guy's doing a bad thing. And someone's like, what about that other guy? He's doing the same thing. Like, no, that guy's natural. It's cool. Oh, did I just make an accidental natty or not joke? I sure did. if you juice to the gills, you can probably rip off more rims. I don't know. I've only stolen a few things in my life, and they're always diamonds. Do you guys ever want to be like a super heist thief? Go after like crazy paintings and diamonds and shit. I don't know. I never really did, but it seems like a lavish lifestyle. Best practices, back to work. Best practices, what do we take from here? Well, excess sweetened caloric beverage consumption is one of the easiest ways to increase your calories from any baseline. You want to add a bunch of calories? I'm not saying the good ones. Just drink more of your carbs. Drink more sugary beverages. This happens with any sweeteners, not just high fructose corn syrup. It happens with beverages, even the natural food store ones. It's like flavored naturally with honey. You're like, oh my God, bees like honey and they hurt when they sting you? I don't know. Bees are good, right? They're nature. So what you probably want to do, especially if you're trying to control your weight against all odds, is stay mostly away from juices and sodas and junk sweet treats most of the time, because those tons of extra carbohydrates, just like the tons of extra fats of easily fried foods, they just contribute to a whole bunch more calories and not as much anti-hunger properties. So it's really easy to get carried away, chronically take in more calories than you actually burn away, and then you end up gaining weight over the long term. So diet drinks are totally cool. Diet drinks are super safe. Water, of course, is always great. And you can sparkling water, regular water, and diet sodas. That's all good stuff. I would stick to that. And you can absolutely eat delicious sweet treats within moderation, but just make sure it's within your calorie constraint. It's not something that's a part of your life and you're not tracking anymore. You come to your doctor 6 months later and he's like, you've gained 20 pounds of fat. You're like, what's your diet like? I don't know. Well, I guess I've been eating a whole lot of cake and drizzling the cake with orange juice. What? That's strange. Last thing I'll say here is the idea that high fructose corn syrup is this sort of cornerstone and the fractal generator of the entire obesity epidemic actually links into a bit of a logical fallacy that people have when looking at large systems. And that is the attempt to find one flip switch, single variable fallacy, the single variable responsible for it all. It would be neat. And a lot of people will do this for health all the time, and especially the obesity epidemic. It's like a national pastime. What's the cause of the obesity? What one thing? What one chemical? Because here's the thing, it'd be really neat, right? If we found that it was high fructous corn syrup that's really causing the obesity epidemic, I mean, it's the easiest legislation in the world to write, to be like, just no more of this in our food. As a matter of fact, a competitive free market like the United States, you probably wouldn't even have to write it. As soon as like 10 studies came out and all the medical associations were like, high fructose corn syrup is legit just causing obesity, nothing else is, how many companies would still sell it? Everyone would be like, fuck that. We're just going to switch to another sugar. It's going to cost us pennies on the dollar, and we're not going to be like implicated in those crazy stuff anymore. We're still going to be able to sell product. It would be a thing. It would be awesome. It would be easy, but that's not. The reality of why the obesity epidemic occurs with all the available evidence we have is straightforward for the most part. There could be some missing pieces here, but generally it's this. People are wealthier relative to the amount of food they can purchase more than ever. They have spent decades telling companies by supply and demand and actual, focus groups, they want tastier things. They love the way high-calorie foods taste. They want them as convenient as possible and readily available everywhere. So now junk foods and hyper-unfilling drinks and all the stuff, that's really what's causing the obesity epidemic, is you like to eat super cheap, super convenient, ultra tasty food that makes you want more of itself. Like, I never had one Twinkie in my life. Twinkie I have. Potato chip. I need like 80 of them shits, man. As soon as I taste one, I need more. And shit, Twinkies too. Why not? And dark version of a Twinkie, the chocolate one with the white cream, what are those shit called? The ho-hos or something? Videographer Scott, what are they called? Ho-hos. Yeah. Amazing. So 2-part answer. Be healthy, control your diet, eat in moderation. And when you do eat in moderation, get some ho-hos in your life. This shit will not disappoint you. And if it does, comment below and we'll give you a free star. See you next time.